Welcome to Successful Living. I'm your host, Rob Auclair, financial planner at Balanced Wealth Management in East Greenwich, Rhode Island. On today's show, we're going to talk about trust and how trust with other people can build relationships of comfort and very much a happier lifestyle, but also trusting yourself in making your decisions. We're then going to be joined by our mortgage expert, Steve Tetzner from Homestar Mortgage. And Steve's going to talk about some recent changes in the current market, and he's also going to talk about some current rates and whether now is a good time to refinance or not. We're then going to join by Travis Gatzmeyer from Kinetics Financial Planning. And Travis is going to talk about some big buzzwords, Bitcoin, cryptocurrency. I've got clients asking me left and right. It's in the news. It's an ever-changing industry, and we're really happy to have him here today, so he'll join us on the third segment. Then finally, we'll take our question from one of our listeners, and it is, after your 401k, is there any other tax-deductible options out there? So let's get started. Today's word of the day is trust or trusting. Showing or tending to have a belief in a person's honesty or sincerity, someone who's not suspicious. So when I think of trust and trusting, a lot of times, people will say, what sort of rate of return do you have? What's your process and what do you do? And those things are important, but what I really was taught from my dad at an early age in the business, but in life too, was just, people need to trust you. You need to listen. You need to be able to give good feedback, be a good friend, be a good person in all relationships. So to me, trusting is not only about, being able to trust other people, but also being able to trust you and your decisions. So let's talk about what are some benefits if you are a trusting person. So first benefit would be trusting allows you to grow. So when we trust people, we bring new experiences into our lives. This means you may be taking chances and moving out of your comfort zone. I worked in the same place for about 10 years and I was scared to leave it. I have to say the day I left opened up many, many doors. Glad I did that, but I had to take a leap of faith out of my comfort zone. Number two, another benefit is successful relationships are built on trust. That is probably the biggest factor in having a positive and healthy relationship. Number three, living a less lonely lifestyle. So, once we realize it's not us against the world, we can use our friendships to move through everyday life, and we can live with the comfort of always having a partner to turn to. So, when I second guess or I get nervous about something or have a low confidence, I think about my relationships with my spouse, my kids, my mom, my sisters, good friends, and those are all, super important to kind of give me that confidence. Number four, capable of more when we trust. If we trust wholeheartedly, that is someone that is there to support us in the toughest of times. It makes previous insurmountable challenges seem achievable. And then finally, it just gives us a more positive view of the world. If we're trustworthy, it's not the bottom is falling out. It is, hey, I'm positive, good things are going, to happen. So here's a great quote that I thought Ernest Hemingway said this: the best way to find out if someone is trustworthy is to trust them, and then make your judgment from there. So let's move to, if you're unsure of how to trust somebody, how can you become more trusting? Number one, try to see people more routinely. You're not just gonna, make friends and trust someone right off the bat. It might be at a gym. Be familiar with people. Once you get beyond that step, you move to step two. And that is to actually be able to share some things that are, special about you with someone and being able to say, hey, let me give a little bit. Maybe they'll trust me. But more importantly, I've got a friend that I just, recently, I'd say the 4 or 5 years ago, came closer to. And what I think is giving up talking about yourself and actually asking questions and listening. That is so, I think, important in developing trust. Number three, be trustworthy. If you're trustworthy, other people will see that and they'll want to trust you. Number four, actively look for trustworthy behavior. I like seeing people that are humble. I admire people that don't just chase after people for monetary reasons or for status. You want to go for the core of what somebody is at. Number five, be willing to stay put. So if you're trying to improve how you trust people in life, it's not about saying, let me jump from that group to that group to that group. Maybe stay in your group for a while. Years ago, I had this group in Cranston that I played basketball with, and I was thinking of jumping to other people. I stayed with that group. I've developed lifelong relationships from that. When we come back, we'll be joined by Steve Tetzner from Homestar Mortgage. Stay tuned.